Yeah, if that bomber were to take off, it would fly pretty much directly over me. We've been out here waiting, seeing if it's going to take off, but this is a very special plane.
Tensions have reached a breaking point. The United States is preparing for a potential war with Iran. As new intelligence suggests, the Iranian government is making significant strides towards building its first nuclear weapon. Reports indicate that the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, may have given the green light to accelerate the development of a nuclear bomb, possibly utilizing the enriched uranium they've accumulated so far. If these reports are accurate, the clock is ticking for both nations. On one side, the U.S. military is positioning itself for a confrontation. Fighter jets are being repositioned, mid-air refueling tankers are mobilized, and aircraft carriers are being sent into the Persian Gulf. On the other side, Iranian scientists are in a race against time, working tirelessly to assemble a nuclear bomb before the U.S. can act. In the midst of this high-stakes drama, President Donald Trump has issued a stark warning to Iran. He has called for the immediate evacuation of Tehran, the Iranian capital, and has made it clear that if Iran does not fully surrender its nuclear ambitions, the consequences will be dire.
Who said, according to a senior intelligence source and a Defense Department official, that President Trump approved on Tuesday night of attack plans for Iran, but did not make a final decision in case Iran agreed to abandon its nuclear program. Now, we know from President Trump's remarks to reporters earlier this afternoon in the Oval Office that Trump said that he has not made a final decision yet on if U.S. military involvement will increase to help Israel in their war with Iran. We know he had been considering options of striking Iranian nuclear facilities, including the possible target of Fordo, a site that's believed to be the key to Iran's nuclear program. But he has told reporters he has not made a final decision, saying that he often makes these decisions kind of at the last second, just in case things changes. So showing at least a little glimmer that he wants to resolve this at least through a little bit of diplomacy should the U.S. and Iran get there.
However, such an ultimatum seems nearly impossible to meet. With both sides on edge, the likelihood of a peaceful resolution appears slimmer by the hour. The backdrop to this conflict is an escalating situation between Israel and Iran. Just days ago, Israel conducted a successful airstrike on Iran's largest nuclear facility, the Natanz uranium enrichment plant. This strike has dealt a severe blow to Iran's nuclear capabilities, with satellite imagery confirming significant damage to the site. Despite this success, the real target for Israel and its allies lies further underground, the Fordo facility. Fordo, located deep beneath a mountain, is Iran's most secure nuclear installation. It's considered the crown jewel of Iran's nuclear program, and it's been heavily fortified to withstand airstrikes. Israel attempted to target this site during the opening strikes of the current conflict, but the results were disappointing. Satellite imagery indicated that the facility remained largely unaffected, and experts have long known that Israel's most powerful weapons simply aren't enough to destroy Fordo. Enter the United States' most powerful weapon, the massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP. Weighing in at an astounding 30,000 pounds, the MOP is the largest non-nuclear bomb in the U.S. arsenal. Its sole purpose is to penetrate deeply buried targets like Fordo and deliver a devastating blow.
It is a stealth bomber, and as you pointed out, it can carry a bunker buster bomb. This is the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator. This is a 30,000-pound guided bomb that this plane can deliver anywhere in the world from this plane taking off from right behind me. And this is significant because it would be then targeting, if it were to go to Iran, the Fordo nuclear power plant. This is a power plant that's buried underneath a mountain, and so this is really one of the only bombs that could even try to get down that far. The bomb can penetrate about 200 feet deep, and so this is why this bomb is very significant, and that's why we're watching this base closely to see if any of those planes are taking off. Now, if a plane does take off, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to Iran, but it does show that it could have that potential to go that far. And to kind of give you an idea, this plane could take off, travel all the way to Iran, all the way back without touching the ground. Of course, it would need refueling, but just shows the capabilities of this bomber.
The MOP works by smashing through thick layers of rock and concrete, then detonating underground with catastrophic force. Tests have shown that it can penetrate over 200 feet of reinforced concrete before exploding. This makes it the ideal weapon to destroy Iran's deeply buried nuclear facilities, which have been hardened to withstand conventional strikes. But there's a catch. The MOP is a massive weapon, and only one aircraft in the world can carry it, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The B-2 is designed for deep penetration missions, and its stealth capabilities allow it to approach Iranian airspace without being detected by enemy radar. However, there's more to this operation than just delivering a bomb. The B-2 must navigate a heavily defended region, with Iran's air defenses still operational around key sites like Fordo. Fortunately, Israel's airstrikes have already cleared the skies, eliminating much of Iran's air defense infrastructure. Now, with the U.S. military's vast resources in position, all eyes are on the B-2 and the MOP. Recent satellite imagery reveals that several B-2 bombers are already positioned at Diego Garcia, a remote U.S. airbase in the Indian Ocean, approximately 3,200 miles from Iran. From there, these bombers can strike Iranian targets without needing mid-air refueling, making them a formidable threat. While Israel has done the heavy lifting by neutralizing much of Iran's air defenses, it's now up to the United States to deliver the final blow. The B-2 will likely be the key to eliminating Iran's nuclear threat once and for all. However, such an attack would come with immense risks. Iran is already known to have one of the largest missile arsenals in the world, and retaliation would be inevitable. If the United States moves forward with an airstrike, Iran will almost certainly retaliate with missile launches, targeting U.S. military bases throughout the Middle East. The U.S. has already made preparations for this, with 2 aircraft carrier strike groups now positioned in the Arabian Sea and numerous defense systems in place to intercept incoming missiles. The potential consequences of this conflict are far-reaching. If the United States successfully destroys Iran's nuclear facilities, it would severely delay Iran's nuclear ambitions. However, the aftermath would likely result in a broader regional war with unpredictable outcomes. Iran's proxies in places like Iraq and Syria could launch attacks on U.S. forces, and Hezbollah, a key Iranian ally, could become a more active player in the conflict. Additionally, Iran has a history of threatening the Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly 20% of the world's oil flows. If Iran takes action to block the strait, it could send oil prices soaring and disrupt global energy markets. Such a move would be catastrophic for the world economy. At the same time, the U.S. military is preparing for the possibility of further escalation. If the conflict continues to spread, the U.S. may find itself fighting on multiple fronts, with Iran's allies potentially joining the fray. The risk of a full-scale war in the Middle East remains high. The United States is now facing a critical decision, whether to intervene directly in the conflict and eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities, or to hold back and risk allowing Iran to emerge from the war with nuclear weapons. The stakes could not be higher, and whatever decision is made will have profound consequences, not just for the Middle East, but for the world at large. In the coming hours, the U.S. may take the most significant step yet in this escalating conflict. If President Trump orders a strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, the B-2 bomber will be the one to deliver the final blow. The MOP, once dropped, will penetrate the Earth and destroy Iran's nuclear program once and for all. But as we know, even a successful mission carries heavy risks, and the world will be watching closely to see what happens